Welcome to our workshop series, Having Better Client Conversations. This video was shot at a recent workshop that I did for a professional group. And in part one, we're discussing why we do too much talking. So, we tell too much, and what we want to talk about today is how do we ask better questions. Now, Dennis mentioned that, the interrogation techniques that we might use as an attorney in the courtroom, right? But we certainly don't want our customers, our potential customers, to feel like they're being interrogated, right? But we do want them to feel that we're asking them questions that will guide us to give them better service, right? And that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to find out isn't it much easier to sell if they need something than if we're trying to search around and tell them what we can do for them? We've kind of seen that. Let me tell you everything about my business, and if something strikes you, you stop me, right? And we can see the boredom and the glaze coming over our potential customers' eyes. They're not our customers yet because we're not giving them the chance. So we do get ourselves in those situations where we have to have a conversation with our customers. The first question I want to ask you is, when we're going to have a client interview, what are some of the barriers that we face to having a really good conversation with them before we go in with them and then during that conversation? What are some of the challenges, the barriers that we face? Okay, who's got something written down? Who wrote down a barrier? Craig, what's one thing?
Skepticism of home remodelers' integrity.
Excellent. It's not just home remodelers, right? It's all of us. There's skepticism that we're going to get taken, right? That you've got an agenda, that you're trying to get something from us, right? Yes?
A hesitancy to disclose harmful facts.
Absolutely, absolutely. The real things that we need to know, they're trying to hide. Denise?
With me, I put fear. People are afraid of changing. We all have things that we'd like to work on, but
Yep.
I come across fear from people. They're
Yeah.
scared that they might not be able to make the change
Yeah. I want
or
things
address the
different,
change.
but I don't want to change.
Right.
Right? I want to be healthier, but I don't want to change my activities, my habits, right? All right, so when we get into those interviews, what are some of your goals? Write those down. What do you want to accomplish then when you have that opportunity to sit down, sit in front of a prospect, somebody who might possibly be able to use your services? What do you want to accomplish from them? What do you want? All right, Sandra, what's one of your goals in that conversation?
To remember my name, that's very good. My goal is a sale.
Okay, so you have a goal of getting the sale. Who else? Yes, Jim?
One of my goals is really understanding what their needs are and being able to react to those.
Okay, good. Who else has something written down? Larry?
Get results.
Okay, to get them some results. Julie?
Educate and give the client the power to make the decision.
Okay. So to help them make that decision, move that. So those are some very good goals. Some other ones that you might think about, establishing rapport, right? Some of the fear that you talked about. If I don't have a good rapport with somebody, we're probably not going to go anywhere, right? Because that trust is never going to be broken through. I'd like to get honest responses rather than the hidden responses you talked about, right? I want to find out if they have a current solution. Quite often, if we really get into the nitty-gritty of sales, we're going to be taking business from somebody else. So how are they getting this thing accomplished? I would imagine a lot of people have financial representatives, right? And a big part of your goal is how can I move you from that financial representative to me who will do a better job for you, right? Now here's the interesting thing about most business people, especially small business people, they don't write out or practice the questions they're going to ask. Are you an expert in asking questions, or are you an expert in the medical field?
I'm an expert in the medical field.
Suzanne, are you an expert in asking questions, or are you an expert in health and nutrition?
An expert in health and nutrition.
Joe, are you an expert in asking questions, or are you an expert in accounting? Accounting. So when you get nervous, what are you going to fall back on? When things don't go well, what are you going to start to do?
Dance.
You're going to tell them about what you know about. Building, finances, real estate, water, cutting down trees or saving your trees. When things don't go well, or when you get lost, or when they give you the little teeniest possibility of a crack, that there might be some small interest in what you have, the tendency of most experts is to start to tell them about what they're an expert at. We cannot help ourselves. It's what we do. It's where we go when we get nervous. It's where we go when we get lost. It's where we go when we see even the slightest possibility of business. And in almost every situation, it's way too early.